The most significant skill or talent I improved was definitely my leadership skills. I definitely improved over the course of my IB experience, being placed and taking the initiative to take up leadership positions. The two most notable leadership experiences would first be as a member of the Student Council Executive. This was probably the most challenging of them all because it required constant meetings and we had to propose new initiatives each week, having to collaborate with different groups, different teachers, and having to organize many events on our own was a big challenge. On top of all of this, we had a big role in hosting school-wide events, so we had to, in a sense, lead our school community during assemblies and such. Initially, it was hard because I did not anticipate how demanding the role was, but after a few weeks of doing a few spirit weeks and a few events, I quickly became acclimated to the role and was able to carry out and even enjoy my duties. The same could be said with my role as Xiaohua head photographer. I had to organize up to 15 students at a time, ensuring that work came in at the right time, that students understood the assignment, worked with their respective writers on each article, and had meetings with me with updates, etc. It essentially required a lot of thought on my part and a lot of organization to reduce the burden on their side, making sure they all reach deadlines. On top of that, I would often have to compensate for the extra articles by assigning myself some articles, so I would have to do 2 to 3 photo shoots for each issue myself. I would say that Xiaohua was the creative experience that most contributed to my personal development. I already had an avid interest in photography, and I jumped at the chance when presented with the opportunity to take it further. It taught me how to stay organized. It is no overstatement to say that my organizational skills were required to improve on all fronts, which included my self-management skills, naturally. I learned to manage my time, manage multiple deadlines, and had to adapt when things did not go as planned. I would say that the experience in the activity strand I found most challenging or rewarding was doing yoga in my own personal time. As someone who has an interest in gymnastics and flexibility, it seemed like the natural course of events to take up yoga as a pastime. Before, I used to do some paid classes with yoga, but taking the initiative to do it on my own and follow some videos as well as making up my own routines was definitely a big challenge because I wasn't super familiar with all the different poses and all the different routines like Ashtanga or Vinyasa. But after doing a lot of research and watching a lot of videos, I eventually came to a point where I could do it without having to write everything down, and it just became part of my routine, and I really appreciated how that's given structure to my life, especially now during quarantine. It definitely pushed me to keep extending my perseverance, my time, my legs, my arms, and my back, etc. Thank you for listening to my video log.